I'm David Berlin with ZDNet. I'm coming to you from the Javits Center in New York City where the Digital Life Show is taking place. Now earlier this year we covered the N95 smartphone. This is from Nokia and it's got some new features. It's coming out today with those new features. It's September 27th for those of you who are watching this at whatever time you're watching it at. And standing with me is a spokesperson for Nokia, Joe Gallo. He's going to tell me what it is about this new version of the N95 that's going to make our ZDNet audience members want it.
Well, the most up-to-date feature that I can say is the key feature is the optimization for US high-speed networks. This will run on 3G and HSDPA for 1700 MHz networks. So for all you AT&T customers out there, this is the fastest one on the network for you.
So let's talk a little bit about what that means, because AT&T runs two different networks, right? They have a slower one and a faster one that are both, one's like 2.5G, the other's 3G. And one of the big flaps about the iPhone is that it runs on the slower of the two networks. So the key with this little guy here is that it runs on the faster of the two, which means what? Faster web browsing? Faster
web browsing, faster downloads, faster GPS, which we'll get into in a second, pretty faster picture upload to your Flickr or Vox accounts, faster everything that you use a data network for.
Okay, so when we first looked at the N95, it was earlier this year, it didn't have this feature in it. What were some of the standard features that set it apart from the rest of the phones on the market?
Standard features were GPS with the integrated GPS receiver underneath the keypad. It had a 5-megapixel camera, smartphone technology with the open source Symbian network, which means any program that you find on the net, you can put on here as long as it's Symbian based. With this version, we keep the GPS but add assisted GPS, so using the 3G and HSDPA networks, you can get a GPS receiver faster and find your location more securely than with the normal GPS. The 5-megapixel camera stays on there. We've doubled the RAM from 64 to 128. We've also extended the battery life. This was an issue with the first one. We've acknowledged that. This one has a longer battery life as well.
Now it has a removable battery too, which is something the iPhone doesn't have, right?
Absolutely.
And also, one question I have is that one of the other big complaints about the iPhone, in fact, Apple's doing something about this because a lot of people figured out how to unlock it. This phone actually comes unlocked as it is because right now you have no partners in the US that are selling it. Like, for example, it runs on T-Mobile's network, it runs on AT&T's network, but neither one of them are selling it. Is that about to change?
We don't have any announcements about carriers at this time, but as with anything in the mobile market, stay tuned because you never know what might happen. But as you said, it comes unlocked, it runs on T-Mobile and AT&T. We support AT&T's high-speed network, data network. So you're getting more for your money because, as Apple said today, it may cause irreparable damage to unlock it.
That's right, and of course they're clamping down. They're changing the software in the iPhone so that you can't unlock it anymore. And the price of this new version of the N95 is going to be?
This new version is $699.99. We've brought the old version down from $749 to $629.
Okay, well, the folks at Nokia are going to have to think about that because at $699, it's still very expensive compared to the iPhone, and the iPhone's got a lot of buzz right now. Any hope of the price on this coming down anytime soon?
We have no announcements about that at this time, so I can't say. Okay,
well, Joe Gallo, spokesperson for Nokia, thank you very much for sharing this with me on ZDNet's testbed.
No problem, it's a pleasure.
Now you heard Gallo mention an 8GB version of the N95. This is it, and it also has a much larger display than the original N95. However, as he said, it's not quite out yet. It's not on the market. This is a prototype, and right now Nokia is not saying when it's going to come out. For ZDNet at the Digital Life Show at the Javits Center in New York City, I'm David Berlin.